welcome back. I'm out here in the shop today trying to get some finishing touches done on Sean's car so we can get this thing painted and back to him as a roller. So the car is going to be coming back in a few months. We're going to do the fiberglass front end, the doors, and do some flush mount Lexan around the car, mount some other things in the car. But we wanted to have the wheel tubs in before the car left, but that may not be the case this time. The carbon guy's having some issues that we use getting parts and everything, but he's made a killer custom tub for us. We made him a steel tub to make a mold out of, and the thing turned out phenomenal. So he's done a trial run on it. He's going to be doing a final run on them, and we'll get them in the car. But unfortunately, it might not work out to our time frame that we had. So when the car comes back, if that's the case, we'll put it in then. But everything else in the car is done. All the tin work's done. Everything's mounted. All the accessories are mounted. So it's just a few little odds and ends, paint, and start putting the front end together, the steering, and the rest of the suspension, and get this thing back down on its wheels. I'm going to start a little time-lapse video for you guys, so you guys can actually watch what I'm doing around the shop, and had a lot of requests for that. So we'll get that rolling, and I'll see you guys soon. Alright guys, so I just finished up welding the extra sleeves in the front half for the K member. What I did was I went underneath, I measured everything out, and on the top and bottom to make sure they were symmetrical. I don't like sending the drill bits straight down through the top of the frame rail because there's a good chance the frame rail is hollow, so the bit can walk on you and give you a crooked hole. So what I do is I measure everything up on the bottom of the frame rail and on the top of the frame rail, and I center punch it, drill small holes, and then I work my way through with the larger bit. So the bit size for these was 5/8. So after I went through with that, I slipped the sleeve down inside the hole, TIG welded everything up, and then I went back and I grinded the tops and the bottom of the frame rail smooth, so the heads of the bolts and the nuts don't look like they got a gap underneath of them. So now that that's all finished up, I'm on to the burn down tank. So I'm going to finish fabbing this up. I'm going to weld everything up. I'm going to go into the back of the car, and when I get back there, I'll show you guys what I do to put the bungs in and install the tabs to mount these in the car. Always make sure you clean your rods with acetone, because believe it or not, even if you got these things encased, you got them put away real safe, there's always nasty stuff that comes off of them. They're sent to the welding supply house or wherever you get them from, and that can create a big issue. I was being a little lax and I created a little issue on this side. Ain't nothing I can't clean up though. All right, so it's been a little bit of time since the last portion of the video where I said I was going to come to the back of the car. Christmas hit, some things happened, and here I am a few days later. So I'm in the back of the car. I got the burn down tank mocked up where I want it to go. I just kind of mock shit up with whatever I have sitting around the shop. So in the back here, I have a piece of wood ferrite strip, and then I have an aluminum straight edge holding the tank for the distance and the height in the back I want. And then I have just a little stub of chromoly edging the front of it up to the level plane that I want. So what I went ahead and did, instead of welding, I usually weld 4 bungs, but I didn't like the distance of the separation. They would look real long, I didn't like that. So right here, I welded some of my scallop strips in that I cut on the table, and those are in place. And then what I'll do is I'll bend a piece of aluminum up on a 90-degree angle, and I'll cut that to the angle the tank ends, and then I'll weld that to the tank, and then that's what will mount the burn down tank to the rear frame rails. So I'm going to go ahead and get this finished up and move on to, you know, the next portion where I'm going to weld the drain and the bung that I have for the overflow for the transmission. So really quick, I'll show you how I mock these up. First I deburr them because these will cut the hell out of you. So I use a little Milwaukee deburring tool, and I literally just scribe the edges. It takes all the sharp edges off, and so that's when, you know, you go to fit it up and it slides, it doesn't cut your hand, or, you know, you go to weld this thing up and everything looks pretty and you give it back to the customer, and they go to take it in and out of the car or move something around and it slides in their hand and cuts the hell out of them. So it's always a good idea to use one of those things. But what I'll do is I can mock it up underneath or over top. I'm opting for over top because it's just going to it's going to work out a little better. Getting the tank in and out of the car, you would have to have enough clearance to drop it down and pull it out to get it over the scallop strip. So we'll just lay these on top like this, and then instead of just making it even, I'll let it stick out on both sides, and so I get a really nice contour to the edges. I'll scribe the back side on the tank, on the angle of the tank that's crossing the tank. So let me grab a scribe real quick. So I got my little basic scribe here. I'll hold this up against the tank, and I'll just keep scribing it lightly so I don't move the tank. Point the angle in so you don't have too much overhanging. You don't want to melt it over too much. So I'll take this out. I'll deepen up the scribe line a little bit on both sides. And then I'll draw a straight line here with a square, and then I'll chop that up and I'll weld that on the tank. I'll put this back in the car. I'll put my ground clamp in. I'll just tack it, take it over to the bench and finish it. All right, so I messed up. I thought I had a cool little time-lapse video for you guys of me welding the mounting strips on the tank. Unfortunately, I'm not too techy, and I don't know how my GoPro got set up on photo time-lapse instead of video, and I don't know how to convert it. So that being said, they are welded. They're finished up, they're on the tank. All I have to do now is I need to get the vent tube through the deck lid. So I have to drill the hole, locate the vent tube, weld that up, and then I have to weld the drain bung and the transmission overflow bung on the tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. I'm gonna get that rocking, and after that, I think this thing should be finished up. All right, guys, so everything's finished up in the back of the car. I got the deck lid trimmed out for the hole for the spout. It sits nice and flush, so the only thing that's going to be added there is a nice carbon fiber decorative trim ring on the top of the deck lid. But if you look, the spout's not half as long as it looked like it was when I was mocking it up in the previous video. But everything turned out real nice. So I'll set the deck lid back on here real quick, and I'll show you what it looks like as it's cut to the contour of the deck lid. All right, so now I'm back in the back of the car. I got the deck lid back on the car. You can see the spout coming up through the back. There's just barely enough lip here hanging up over top of the deck lid. So when he adds the carbon trim ring, it's going to sit completely flush across that. It'll look good. And I love it being, you know, centered in between the frame rails in the back here. So, you know, when she's steaming on the starting line, you know this bitch means business. But I got the carbon ARPC 20-inch wing that I put on the car. I wanted to do a video on how I installed this, but I never got around to it, unfortunately. But here she is. All of the holes you have to locate yourself and drill in the carbon. It comes blank. The only holes that are in this are the slots for the actual wicker bill. And that being said, they are a bit of work to put in. But aside from that, they fit great, and they're very strong, especially after they're all tied in on the quarter panel and whatnot. I use 2 button Zeus's on the sides, on each side. And then underneath, we opted to do my strutless wing brackets on the bottom. There's 4 strutless wing brackets under here. They are extremely lightweight and they're extremely strong, and they're going to hold this thing. They're going to hold this thing all the way down the track. It will not have a single issue. And if he feels that we need any more supports, I can run something off of the chute mount up to here, but I don't think it's needed. I think this is going to be plenty strong. But it turned out sick, man. The strutless brackets I make, they got, you know, nice little scalloped holes on them and everything. You can see them on my social media page, close-ups of them. But we're trucking along, man. This thing's about to be done. I have to run around the car and finish a couple extra things for paint tomorrow, and break this whole thing down the rest of the way. Only a couple more things to take out of it, and a couple holes to seal up in the factory floor pans. But for the most part, she's ready to rock. But I appreciate you guys checking this out again. Hope you enjoyed it. Comment, like, and subscribe. Take care. Thanks.